arm length shorter.
In the sport of boxing, when Floyd Mayweather fights, it is a spectacle.
Hey, got your hat. Got your hat. My brother, bro.
Got your fucking hat.
When your idols become your rivals, that shit sucks. I'm looking Floyd in his beady little eyes at the press conference, and I'm like, this is one of the greatest boxers of our generation. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
We got the once defeated versus the undefeated. I go online, yo, you're gonna get your fucking ass beat. You're gonna die in the ring. Yo, the motto for this fight is fuck everyone. Pro-ass fight against the best fighter on the planet. Suck my dick.
Live from the Versace Mansion in Miami, Florida. Bienvenidos a Miami. Hello, everyone. It is time for the Mayweather versus Paul Media Availability Day. A media day, I guess you could call it. Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell, we are combat sports analysts from CBS Sports, here to take you through today. Well, what's it going to be like, BC? Is it going to be mayhem? Is it going to be mystery? What are you anticipating for this event?
Well, you know, Morning Combat had to take its talents to South Beach to cover a fight this big that has crossed over so much. And what can we expect today? I mean, I don't know if you were here for May 6th Gotcha Hat. There's some fireworks in the build to this fight, no matter whether you're giving Logan Paul a chance or not against the retired pound-for-pound king and Floyd Mayweather. So I expect some fun, some high energy today. And you know, Luke, I did always want to know how the other half lived, and today I found out the other half lives sitting in their own fluids. So, you know, so far it's been a good adjustment.
I was asking you what to anticipate. I'm going to put heat stroke on that list among a series of other ailments we'll probably suffer, given we're 41 years of age. Okay, but in all seriousness, here's how this is going to go down. You can see behind us, depending on how the shot shows, we're here at the Versace, by the way. It's pronounced Versace Mansion. They're very...
you say tomato, I say Chardonnay.
They get on you about that. We're going to take you through. Floyd Mayweather's going to come through, I think, second. Logan Paul should come through first. We are anticipating, as you can see, maybe you can hear, the boxing and MMA media. It's like the Mos Eisley Cantina up in here. They're all over here. Floyd and Logan are going to come through.
However, we do serve droids here. There's no question about that.
We absolutely do serve
Schmo
droids.
is here. All the celebrities are
This
here.
is the way. But they're going to come through over here. They'll have about a 10-minute each discussion with the media. They'll face off. There may be some craziness, Jerry Springer-esque, we don't know, but then they'll come and sit down here with us. We'll talk to them. It'll be fun, right?
It'll be fun. And I love that you made the Jerry Springer joke, because let's be honest, this fight is combat sports. It's within the extended family, but we've never seen a fight like this in boxing specifically, where 44-year-old Floyd Mayweather could reach into such a smaller audience and create, Luke, a fight that it's really hard to break down from the traditional boxing lens, because not a lot that surrounds this fight is traditional boxing. You've called it, let's say, the pro wrestling of boxing. And we don't mean to put out there that anything you see in the ring come Sunday night isn't going to be real. It is. but it's got a pro wrestling feel to the build, to the promotion, to the rivalry between fighters that it may not be your personal cup of tea, and I know you. I know how you get down. But a guy like me, Luke, I grew up eating in gas stations. This has been fun and wild. I don't know what's going to happen next.
Well, a couple of things to keep in mind. One, if Showtime thinks I'm turning this back in, I'm not. I'm keeping it.
The tags are still on, just so people know.
And I'm going to pawn it to pay tax bills, number one. Number two, I agree. This is an unusual weekend. For folks who may not know, we host a podcast called Morning Combat, and on that we get into the world of MMA and the world of boxing. And I have been critical of the idea of YouTube boxing, and not in the sense that people can't enjoy it, but you never know what it means. But here's what I do know for this week, BC. The vibe here is Showtime Sports kind of meets Showtime Entertainment. We saw that Showtime had announced Jesus and Merrill, along with Brian Custer, are going to be working the desk. That's a perfect marriage between the two elements. That's what you're getting here, I think, a little bit. You're getting a little bit of sports, a little bit of entertainment. Listen, I am a stickler. I am a purist. I want to talk about pound for pound. I want to talk about who's got the best jab. I want to talk about the best welterweights of all time. But sometimes you just gotta have a little fun. Stop taking yourself too seriously, and don't dive heat stroke in a Versace robe.
How dare you leave professional comedian Brendan Schaub off that? He'll be roving reporter come fight night. But another part, or maybe really the central part of what makes this fight so unique, and what we want to talk to both fighters about, Luke, and why we've never really seen something like this, is Floyd is a career welterweight who fought at junior middleweight, fought as high as 151.5 pounds, I believe, was the weight he came in against Canelo Alvarez. But he's fighting a guy who could be 40 to 50 pounds heavier, who's 6 inches taller. The reach is 4 inches longer. The age is 18 years younger. Again, at the end of the day, we don't know if that means anything. But has Floyd ever went to training camp except for against the Big Show at WrestleMania 24, where he had to really deal with something like this?
We're going to see. I watched the special Showtime put together, the half-hour package that sets the sort of table for this fight. You're right about how much bigger Logan is. Obviously, you've seen him in person. You had the interview with him that's available, I believe, on the Showtime Sports YouTube channel where you're watching now. But beyond that, though, it's been funny to watch, despite some of the differences, Floyd's attitude about it, BC. Floyd has called it, on that special, legalized bank robbery. I tend to think that may not be exactly what this is, but I'm glad he's giving it that attitude. Listen, y'all want to pay me to do this? I will do this, but don't pretend it's anything that's not, according to Floyd Mayweather.
I mean, this may be different in a lot of ways than Floyd Mayweather's landmark 2017 crossover pay-per-view against former UFC champion Conor McGregor. This fight's a little bit different in a lot of reasons: experience, size, social media backgrounds, all that stuff.
Connor's a real fighter. I mean, there's a difference.
It's a continuation of what Floyd's trying to do. He retired effectively in 2015 in terms of the real retirement. He beat Manny Pacquiao. He beat Andre Berto. He walked away 49-0. He was the fighter of the year one more time in his late 30s across all of boxing. But if you're going to create these perfect foils for him, it's going to be hard for somebody who's that brand conscious, who's that into the legacy he's built, that, yeah, he says 50-0 and all that, but the legacy he's most happy with is he built the biggest events of this era, broke the pay-per-view records, was the richest athlete. As long as he will still be putting on a pair of gloves, he's going to be looking for fights exactly like that.
He looks to be his point is basically, this is Floyd's perspective. Floyd's perspective is, I don't have to do anything other than not be in a car crash and I should win. That's really his view, right? I mean, he can just basically walk in there and do it. And, dude, Floyd's probably right. I mean, I don't know why that's a crazy thing to say. You see all these training camps of Logan Paul training hard, and I have no doubt. Even Floyd said in the documentary piece, you can keep training like Ivan Drago. He is training like Ivan Drago. He's training very hard. But, you got to do that for 30 years to be on the level that Floyd is. But you did mention something about the differences. We should talk about the rules for this fight. There actually are some rules it's worth understanding for the public. Now, they're highly amended from how a professional contest would go. For example, when Floyd fought Conor, that was a pro boxing bout, so it had traditional pro boxing rules. This one has a lot of them, not all of them. Let's go through. First, it's going to have 8 rounds, 3 minutes a pop, right?
No headgear. This is a real fight from that standpoint.
From that standpoint, no judges, no official winner. But here's the difference between what you saw in some of these other exhibition contests that have happened in the last year or so and this one. This is in Florida. And really, it's, what do you want to say? They got meth-flavored bubblegum down here.
Put a little respect on
delicious.
the Florida
I had it. It's
commission's, name.
In all seriousness.
This is an exhibition because you can't sanction a size disparity like this and an experience disparity.
Well, here's the deal. Florida is allowing knockouts. That was not the case with other exhibition bouts that have taken place this year. So I don't know how it works. If you knock someone out, you can't be declared the official winner. Perhaps they will do so anyway. But if you're asking, can Floyd go in there and stretch him or vice versa? The answer is yes. Well, they are allowed to.
And look, that's a big part of a fun carnival fight like this. Being respectful, but it is. It's a circus. It's a bazaar. It's something that, again, I'm into, is fans want to have that chance for that resolution of a knockout. Why? Not only did the chick still dig knockouts last time I checked, but also with this kind of fun, Luke, it's you want it to be as over the top and ridiculous as it can be. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you want to see,
but also you got to deliver
the train wreck ending and the deliver and the crossover there. And as much as we want to get into the difference in age and size and all that other stuff, it's still two grown men fighting at the end of the day. Still, anything can happen in there, and we're coming here to be entertained. But I know we can't spend 2 hours breaking down the X's and O's, but like, Floyd has to train hard. I don't care what you think of Logan Paul for that possibility against a bigger guy like that.
Here's what Floyd, I think, has to do. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter who your opponent is. If they throw a hard enough punch and if it lands, there is no magic in this world. It counts. It could count, not for points in this particular case because there are no judges, but Logan Paul is a big, strong kid. Whatever else you want to say about him, he's a big, strong kid. If he connects clean, that is something that that Mayweather's going to have to reconcile. On the other hand, BC, we got to, I don't know exactly what no cap means. I think I have some idea, even though I'm completely washed.
You mean gotcha hat?
Yeah,
is that where you're going with it?
Here's what I want to say about that. Okay, but dude, Floyd's been retired for some time. No doubt about it. But the best pro boxers in his era had a hard time landing clean on him. You can't lose sight of that. I don't care how long the guy's been retired. That's just a fact.
Yeah, and look, we're both combat sports veterans. I'm a boxing veteran. It's obviously going to be hard for me to outright make a case or an avenue to victory for Logan Paul. It's got to be something.
You just don't want to dismiss him.
It's got to be something wild and crazy, but you cannot dismiss a guy who's, an athlete, 28 years old, has a decorated high school football and amateur wrestling background. Thank you. I'll raise that up a little higher there. The sweat is pushing down the
I understand.
Right
I feel you, player.
And a guy who's going to at least take this opportunity. May not feel serious from the build-up when we do got your hat and the jokes, and Logan Paul is a self-proclaimed troll and all that. But if you're going to take it serious, you're going to put your best foot forward, knowing the danger in there. He's done that. Both brothers, Jake Paul, his younger brother, who of course just signed with Showtime Sports and has a big fight coming up. They're both in there with professional trainers, top-level sparring partners, boxing people. They're doing it the right way. You're not going to be able to vouch for their actual ability level until they keep challenging themselves. And both are doing that to a high degree in each of their next two fights. We're going to find out a lot about it.
I actually feel like they're not doing it the right way, but the question is the old way of the right way the only way? If you were doing it the right way, what would happen is you would take small fights in the middle of nowhere that a trainer would find for you against another person who's got a commensurate level of experience, and you work your way up slowly. But these guys have a ton of celebrity. They want to skip that part to see if they can. They're trying to find, in the case of Logan Paul and his brother Jake, they're trying to find an unorthodox, frankly, totally untested method. Can you actually get good at boxing late in life, not doing it the normal way through the amateur system and whatnot? Probably not is the answer. The question is, here's what Logan has to do. Dude, let's just stop. Logan Paul doesn't have to win to have the victory, so to speak. All he's got to do is land one good shot. One good shot. And he can take it, he just can't get stretched. That's the key. Just don't get stretched.
I mean, that's a fair point. And it's bizarre. It's bizarre to a traditional boxing head. But it's also one of those, what the hell's that going to look like? And the point, I really wanted to say, connected to all this, is that both guys are so polarizing. So the fans, of course, are going to want to come into a fun spectacle like this and hope we can see a knockout, and at least that's part of the rule set for this being an exhibition bout. But, they're so polarizing that who's going to be the babyface? Who are the people that are putting down the money for Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Showtime pay-per-view for bragging rights? Are they paying in the hopes that Floyd gets stretched or Logan, or both at the same time? That's a big part of the appeal. Floyd built his second half of his run on the idea that I'm going to be as entertaining and flaunt everything. If you don't like me, that's fine. Make sure, though, that you make that payment to the pay-per-view distributor to make sure you see me fight.
Right, no doubt about it. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think in the case of Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley, Tyron, for folks who may not know him from the boxing audience, has one of the most decorated UFC welterweight champions ever. That's 170 pounds in MMA. Certainly has had a rough run at the end of his career. I think, though, he will be the guy that's the babyface between the two of them. If I do say so myself, BC, he's kind of taken on this mantle as the one who's going to shut the Paul brothers up. We'll see if that happens. I don't know. But he might get that. But you're right. In this particular case, it's a little bit of just different communities clashing. And I think I asked Floyd Sr. this. I covered Floyd versus Canelo, and I covered Floyd versus Pacquiao in person. And I remember at Floyd Pacquiao, I talked to Floyd Sr., who outspoken is, I think, a fair way to put it. He said, you know why I want people to see this? They want to see strange things. Okay, Logan Paul is here, and I believe we're going to throw to him now, walking in.
People may not know we are actually steps from the world-famous South Beach, so it's tropical here. It's fun, and the temperature in the room just changed, however you want to say that.
So to set this up, the pool is behind us. The media is right here. They stretch all the way down. Yeah, you can see the overhead shot there. If you look, Floyd and Logan are going to come down to the left of your screen where the hashtag is, and the letter B. They're going to come through there. They'll talk to the media. They'll have a face-off. Then they're going to come and sit through here and talk to us, too, if we don't sweat too badly.
I haven't seen you this happy sitting in your own fluid since infancy, Luke, right?
That's a fair way to put it. Yes, I wouldn't disagree with that too much.
Some days you just wake up in the mirror, though. It's not every day of the year, and you just look in the camera and say, "This is where I'm meant to be."
All right, here comes.
Meant to be here with Logan Paul on the way in.
I certainly am. Have been nothing but critical of him, and now I have to be nice. Okay, here comes Logan Paul in right now. You can see him walking down the stairs here. He's going to curve around this direction to his right eventually, and then whip in front of the media. I don't know exactly what shots we're going to have of this. Your guess is as good as mine, but then he will come sit with us.
26 years old, Luke, has a combined just over 29 million YouTube subscribers, not counting what else he does across.
Is that more than my 150,000?
Yeah, that's a lot. So there'll be a lot of interest, of course, on this fight. Native of Westlake, Ohio, 0-1 technically as a professional, had that 2-fight, one amateur.
How long before someone steps right in the middle of us here?
I mean, it's coming here, Luke.
It's probably inevitable.
With the thickness of this robe, I feel like I can fight off anybody here, all right?
Yeah.
So, Logan is good in front of the cameras. Luke, I spent a day with him last week in training camp in Puerto Rico with him. And, look, obviously puts in the 100% effort, trains hard, takes this seriously, even if he's not taking the interview he's a part of seriously and cracking jokes. But he's a face of a new generation here. He believes in his size difference, Luke. One thing I'm hearing, though, when talking to him, when talking to his trainer, Milton LaCroix, on the record, I hear a lot of we're going to outbox Floyd.
Yeah, see, that's where he loses me.
And then finish him in the 6th round. Is that a warning sign? Canelo tried that, different circumstances, and look what happened.
I just don't think that needs to be the game plan. The game plan needs to be Three Stooges. I'm not saying gouge his eyes out. I'm not saying, kick him in the nether regions. I'm saying play with the lines a little bit where the referee has to intervene, where the referee has to... The pace of the fight is hectic and crazy and weird, and it throws someone off their game. But, just trying to outbox Floyd? Okay, good luck.
Well, tied to Logan Paul is a question that I think is connected to what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour, or Sunday night's fight. It's his brother, Jake Paul. We know he's going to fight in August to make his Showtime pay-per-view debut against former UFC champion Tyron Woodley. But he's played a big role in this promotion for his brothers with the whole gotcha hat. Is he going to swoop in here and push somebody in the pool? Do you see him from here on out having any role in his brother's fight against Floyd Mayweather?
Well, he's not banned from the fight, which I thought he might have been given how things went at the media day. Okay, that tells us we can take the robes off if we want. Maybe we don't want to.
Yeah, maybe I want to keep them on. Maybe I like to feel this way.
But
maybe
yes,
I like to look like country time.
Here's the thing about Floyd. Again, he called it legalized bank robbery. Not only is he going to fight this guy, his brother is in waiting, and especially if his brother beats Tyron Woodley, which, by the way, he is, by some odds makers, favored to do. Dude, you're setting up another one. I mean, again, you can like these or you can hate these, but they're here, and I have a Versace robe on, so...
It's very interesting, though, that Jake played the role of instigator in this build. Maybe that is it a Danny Garcia, Angel Garcia thing where his dad and trainer is louder and more provocative? I mean, Logan can be loud and provocative, but Danny always says it takes the pressure off of me. It's at least worth thinking about as we transition here, Luke.
So they're telling us we can actually throw to this scrum you're seeing between the media and Logan Paul. Let's hear what Logan Paul has to say.
All the sports media in the building. Live.
Might need a meal. Right? She's concerned. So yeah, she's a little concerned about me boxing in general. But nah, she knows what her son's capable of. She knows I can do it.
Can you give her a calming message against the camera? Before
Hey, mom, I love you. I got this.
Out of this way, right now. Out of the shot, out of the way.
Cool. Yeah, got you.
That's what's happening. All right, we're going to turn around. We're going to do Sky Sports.
What up? How you doing? It's my favorite. Smoky little Sky Sports mic. Fantastic. You happy on it? Right here? Yeah. That's it. But you can look at me. Oh, cool. Yeah. You happy on it? Yeah. Logan, if you beat Floyd Mayweather on Sunday night, are you the new king of boxing? Nah, I'm not. I'm just Logan. Has Floyd ever fought anyone as strong as you? Will he be surprised when it gets up close and personal and you clinch? No chance. Always. Dude, there's a moment that goes through every fighter's mind. Everyone we spar, everyone Jake's beat, when we hit them and they realize, he might not just do YouTube. This guy really put his heart and soul into this, and I hit hard. And I think you're going to see Floyd's eyes light up the first time I hit him, yeah. You're a former wrestler. If it does get physical, are you prepared to put Floyd Mayweather in his place? For Floyd's sake, let's hope it doesn't get physical, yeah. We've seen the rules. It doesn't say anything about disqualification. Could it get ugly in there? Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a fight. It's a fight, and the rules are, I don't know, kind of broad. Anything could happen, yeah. The gloves have changed from 12 ounces to 10. Does that suit you? Are you more confident now than ever that you knocked Floyd Mayweather out? Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know why they changed it. It was 10, then it changed to 12. Now we're back to 10. Good, that's how I want it. You said yesterday Tyson Fury was your favorite fighter. Love him. Would you like to train with him one day? Yeah, absolutely. I think he's here in Miami. Yeah, I might hit him up, spar a little bit. You strike me as a man who knows how to throw a party. What plans do you have if you beat Floyd Mayweather on Sunday night? I don't know, but the last time I was at this mansion, we were having a party. Who knows? One thing at a time, And just finally, do you have a message for the fans in the UK who'll be watching this fight on Sky Sports Box Office? Yeah, I love all of you. Thanks for staying up as late as you did. I promise not to disappoint. Thank you, Logan. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Logan. Tell him to go right here and this is the camera.
Good, thank you. Cool. That's a fucking big fan. Damn.
We're going, Papa.
Ready?
Ready. We'll roll.
3, 2.
Bien, ahí estamos aquí con Logan. Logan, welcome to Miami, compadre. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, man. You've been training in Puerto Rico,
yeah,
right?
I've been brushing up on my Spanish. You ready?
Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo está, mi amigo?
Bien, compadre. ¿Y tú?
Bien, muy bien.
¿Vas a ganar?
Ay, bendito.
Exacto. Ay, bendito is a very Boricua word.
Yeah. As you can see, I